Hello and welcome to another fun-filled knife adventure. Hooray! So today we're going to be taking a look at a large overbuilt knife, the Miguron Omega. It is one I have just acquired and wanted to check out on video here. I've got some of their other larger knives, so let's see how this one compares. So they did change the coloring of their boxes. It's like a pinkish color and a gray. It's the first knife I've received with this color box, so that is something. Let's get in here. So looks like we've got possibly a pivot tool or some kind of tool, a moist towelette, a pack of desiccant, the knife itself. Let's set this stuff to the side and get inside the knife here. Alrighty, there she goes. Wow, that is a big chunk of metal. I did opt to get the DLC version. This is Elmax blade steel. I got the DLC version of a couple of more of their larger knives, so I thought I would get this one to match. Wow, first impressions. Feels good in hand. Feels like you're holding a barbell. It is very heavy. It does have major pockets milled out of the inside, so they've done weight reduction where they can. But when you get that thick, there's really not much you can do about weight reduction. Lockup seems to be 10% because of how thick the blade is, but very substantial. Yep, blade is heavy enough. Definitely solid as a tank. Clip looks nice. Yeah, it's one of those cases where the clip is angled just a little bit up because of it being thicker at this end than at this end, but not much. See if that changes when it's closed. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's almost parallel. Like the frag pattern, this probably heavier than a grenade. Clip is very simple. The lines on the knife itself is pretty simple. Does lock your hand in between there. I don't think anybody would be able to get this out of your hand. That's for sure. I do like the compound grind on the blade. I'm a sucker for compound grinds. Got a very nice hand rubbed satin finish on the blade. Not that it needed it for strength, but it's got a nice swedge here at the front. I don't think you're going to break this tip off unless you're doing some very hard bushcrafting. I'm not sure what size the pivot is. That might be the tool that it came with. Let's check that out. Actually, I forgot about the little tool in the box. It did not come with extra hardware, which a lot of times their knives do. Well, can I get in here? I got it taped up pretty good. Can't even see where to begin. Well, that's awkward. There we go. See what we got here. So, no, this is a rod that you can stick through here. Okay. It is threaded, which is cool. So it actually goes through this hole here and allows you to thread it on. You turn it into a quasi fixed blade. So it is not a pivot tool. It is threaded. I do like that, so it won't fall out. I wonder if it'll go in this bottom hole. Yes, it looks like it will go in either one. It is threading in both of them, so you can put it in either one. You see it coming through right there. So that's cool. We will try to figure out what size the pivot is. My phone is back here making noise, which is going to annoy me. Turn that volume down so we don't get a bunch of crazy noises during the video. Let's do a couple of tests here. Starting with the weight. 15.24 ounces. Let's get some measurements. Overall length is coming in at 9.3 something. Over 9 1/4, so 9.3. Blade length is looking like, wow, it's over 4 inches. 4 1/8, almost 4 1/4. And then cutting edge is a little under 4 inches. The back here, it's about 3 3/4, but you got the added length of 2 different edges there. Now the fun part, let's get some width measurements here. So starting with the scales or the handle. 0.948, 0.949. You got the, let me see if it's even wider back here. Maybe, I doubt it, but yeah, 0.944. Trying not to scratch this up. And then with the clip, it is 1.101. The blade width is 0.422. So yes, very, very thick boy. It starts at 0.422, and then down here behind the edge, it's down to 0.037. So not bad, considering how thick it starts. While we're here and talking about the edge thickness, let's see if it is sharp and will cut anything. Yes, it is. This piece of paper has got crinkles all in it, so should have gotten a fresh piece of paper, but even the front is sharp. Yeah, this is a terrible piece of paper. There we go. Got a little bit of a burr there. Every time it hits one of those creases, it wants to stop, but that's not the knife's fault. That's the paper's fault. Let me see. I might have another piece of paper over here that's a little better. Actually, all of it looks pretty bad, but it's kind of hard to get the blade at a proper angle, being so thick. So yeah, it's not the sharpest. I mean, what do you expect from a piece of steel that thick? Let me see if the strop helps a little. I'm wondering what angle they actually sharpen this thing at. I just ran it 3 times back and forth on the strop there. Yeah, so not the sharpest knife out of the box, but it is sharp. It would cut you, but it's not going to shave you. Although that little curly thing, yeah, it's hard to get the geometry on it. It's hard to get on the paper. It's so much thicker than the paper, it doesn't know how to act. So let's see here. Let's do a couple size comparisons, starting with the old standards. PM2 and the Para 3. See, it dwarfs both of those. Here is the Ozark Trail original Wugout. Here is a Spyderco Shaman. Not many knives it's going to be smaller than, that's for sure. Unless you get into fixed blade territory. Let's compare it to a few of their knives. So this is the Miguron Prayer. It's one of their larger knives, so you can see how it compares to it. This is the Miguron Arma. So if you do have some oversized knives, here is the Miguron Arma XL. So it is bigger than the Arma XL. And here is the Miguron Get-On, which I thought was a giant until I got this one. You can see in every way it is bigger, thicker this way. Let's do some thickness comparisons here. I'm not sure if you can see those pretty good. I don't want them to bang into each other, so I'm going to try to hold them up here, but you can see that it is way thicker also. So yeah, like I said, I already had these two with the DLC, so I decided to get this one with the DLC. Let's see here. What else can we talk about? Oh yeah, I said I would check the hardware. So I imagine the body screws might be T8. Yes, they are T8s back here. Let's see, that means that lip screws are also T8s. That's a T8. The lock bar insert is a T6, and the pivot is going to be, I would say probably a T10, but let's check that out here. Where is my T10? Actually, I'm going to try a T15 first. Yes, it is a T15. Let me make sure that it's not a T20. Yeah, it's a T15 on the pivot. Like I said, Lockup does feel super solid. I thought there would be maybe a little play because of how quick the blade drops. As far as deployment goes, flipper tab works great. It doesn't take much. It's got very smooth action. Reverse flick works great. Let's see if regular flick works great. Yep. I like the cutout there. Yeah, I like the harpoon shape. Let's see. Can choke up and get a full finger for the blade starts there. I mean, the edge starts there. This knife would be a beast to take camping. You could cut some logs with this thing. Batoning. Nice back spacer. Fit and finish looks good on it. These are nice and flush. Everything's nice and flush. Can you get to the blade? Yes. If you're not careful, this was in your pocket, you could definitely get in there and get to that edge. So I'm kind of glad they didn't make it razor sharp. But just being this wide, what do? I mean, you either cover it all or you risk the... They covered most of it, so you can't get to that area. So let's see how it actually fits in a pocket. See how the clip works here. So there is a pocket. Put it in your pocket. Yes, clip works good. That first little part right there is going to kind of catch on it. Won't really go past that anyway. Let's see. So the back spacer is going to cover most of that initial part that goes when your hand goes into your pocket there. So at least that mostly is covered. You got to get way on down in there before you get your finger on the blade. But that, like I said, that's just a product of it being so thick. Yeah, overall, I like it. Let's go check out their website. See what they say the specs and stuff are and the price on it. So they do offer two versions. They offer the plain bladed and the DLC version. They're both Elmax steel, which is a lot of blade steel. It's got a dark gray PVD titanium finish, so that ought to be pretty durable. 4.07 Elmax hand ground rubbed satin blade with DLC, dark gray PVD titanium handle, survival camping pocket knife. As you can see, this one is $439 and the regular blade is $429. Let's see, 9.31 inches overall, 4.07, blade thickness 0.413, Elmax, drop point 59 to 61 HRC, handle length 5.24, handle thickness 0.952, titanium tip up 432 grams. Designer Sam, so Sam of Miguron designed this one. I believe he designed most all of the larger ones. Yep, there's Elmax on it there. I didn't even notice that was on there. There's not much branding, but there's not any branding. I said much, but right here you can see that it does say that Elmax on it there, but no other branding on it, which I don't mind. Let's see. Where we at here? What happened to... All right. So it would be most compared to the Alpha Beast. Very similar in blade shape. The Alpha Beast doesn't have that harpoon on the back. Handles are a little different. Overall length of the Alpha Beast is 9.125 instead of 9.3 with a 4-inch blade. I think he tried to get bigger than this knife in every single way. 16.61 ounces. This one was just 15 ounces. So even though it is bigger, they always do a great job of weight reduction milling. I don't know, I don't believe I showed you that, but you can see some very nice pockets milled out on the inside there. Pretty thick, actually. We try to remove as much metal as possible, even on the lock bar side. Yeah, I appreciate that. It could have weighed a lot more. Lock bar insert looks pretty good. Detent ball. Detent, let's see. Good, but I mean, of course, with that blade being so heavy, it doesn't take much to shake it loose. But it's got good detent considering. So yeah, I like it. Some people would think it was ridiculous. I think it's pretty cool. It's definitely a overbuilt, crazy knife. But if that's your thing, this might be the guy for you. The price is a lot better than the Alpha Beast. In fact, the Get On, which I thought compared pretty good to the Alpha Beast, is about half the price of the Alpha Beast. This one is about $100 more than half the price. But this one itself is a very nice knife if you're looking for an overbuilt knife, and it is a little less expensive. And I do also like the blade shape and stuff of the Arma. The Arma XL here. The Arma's been a tried and true big knife for a little while now, and Arma XL is great in its own ways. I appreciate you being here and checking out the video. If you like talking about knives, come join us in the morning, every morning at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. I sit around with a great group of guys and talk knives for a couple of hours every morning. So if that sounds like something you would like to do while sitting around drinking your coffee or eating your breakfast, come join us. We talk about all kinds of things knife related, what's coming out, what we like, what we don't like. Anyway, appreciate you being here. You could be doing anything, but you're watching this video, and that means a lot to me. If you don't mind, on your way out, if you've liked this video, give me a thumbs up. That will help the algorithm and get me out to more viewers. And yeah, thank you again, and we'll see you on the next one.